And I want to explain something, Oprah, about the power that you give to somebody else's opinion, okay?
Yes, please
so,
do.
As you're spending time together with me and Oprah right now, I want you to just think about your favorite social media platform. And I want you to think about the moment where you're about to create a post. And so you pick a photo, and then you're like, I don't really like that photo. And then you pick another photo, and then you're thinking about the filters. And then you go to start to write the caption, and then you're like, here's an emoji, or should I write that? Is that a little bit too much? For who? I want you to stop and consider that entire time, who are you giving power to? You are actually giving power to what another human being is potentially going to think about what you're about to do. Now, you will never be able to control or guarantee what another person thinks about you, because the average person has 70,000 thoughts a day, and you can't even control half of the ones that pop into your mind. So what on earth makes you think you could crawl up in someone else's head with your social media post and guarantee that they're not going to unfollow you, or they're not going to roll their eyes or whatever? And I'm telling you this because it's something you can relate to. And I need to remind you, your social media is for you. That's for your self-expression. That is for you to be able to put out into the world your art, the things you care about. And how sad is it that in that moment you are giving power to another
you're
person's
putting out
opinion.
what you think they will like instead of what you like.
Correct.
Yes.
And if you look at all of the draft posts, because everybody has hundreds of them, that is a graveyard of all of your potential. And the reason why you didn't post those things is because you stressed yourself out so much giving power to somebody else's opinion that you exhausted yourself and you didn't do it. And you do this all day long.
Yeah, well, that's why I like when you say, let me live my life to make myself proud. Let me make decisions that align with my own values. Let me take risks because I want to. Let me follow the path my soul is turning me toward. That's why we're all here.
That's why we're all here. And you will never do it if you are constantly afraid of what people are going to think. And so here's how I want you to use the let them theory. Just say, let them think a negative thought.
Let them.
Because that's what you're scared of. I mean, actually say,
Absolutely.
Let them think a negative thought. Because once you release from that fear, and then you say, let me live my life in a way that makes me proud, a funny thing happens. You don't actually think about what other people think when you're proud of yourself, because you know the truth.
That is so powerful. Okay, when did you learn that? Did you have to learn that the hard way? Did something have to happen?
Oprah, I learned everything the hard way. I think that is my lot in life, to just dig a hole or fall in one and just have to figure it out. And I think I've been learning that all along. I use it every day. I mean, I'm proud of myself, and I still catch myself stopping and thinking.
Well, I want to talk about people that feel like they can still control other people. You say, here's the truth. When you push someone, it only makes the person push back. You're working against the fundamental law of human nature. People need to feel in control of their decisions. You want people in your life to change, but pressuring them creates resistance to it. You may be acting with the best of intentions, but it's yielding the worst results. That's because every time you fight against human nature, you will lose.
And let's talk about human nature.
Let's talk about that.
So ultimately, what the let them theory is about is control. And every human being has a fundamental hardwired need to be in control of their lives, themselves, their decisions, their environment. Because when we are in control of our jobs and what we're thinking, we feel safe. Now, here's the problem. If you do something that makes me upset or worries me or hurts me, now I'm going to need to control you, Oprah, so that I can feel safe. But here's the problem. You have the same need to control yourself that I have in me.
Yes.
So when I step in and I think that I know best, or I think that you should do something, or I want to change you, what's going to happen is I'm going to push against your hardwired need to be in control of yourself. So you will push back. And what I want, this changed my marriage, it changed my parenting, it changed my relationship with how I am at work. The let them theory is going to make space for change to happen because people need to feel like changing is their idea. People only change, Oprah, when they are ready to do the work to change.
That's what I loved, that you emphasized over and over again in this. Nobody's going to change until they're ready.
Yes, and we make the mistake of thinking that we can push somebody else to do it. And when you push against somebody else, especially somebody that is struggling, I often think about the fact that the hardest working kid in a classroom is not the one getting the A's. It's the kid who's failing. Because they know that they're not doing well. And they can do well if they can. And if they're not doing well, it's because they're at a moment in their life where they can't. They're missing skills, they're missing hope, they're missing support. And so the kid that's struggling or the adult that's struggling, they're in deep, active conflict within themselves. A human being knows, Oprah, when they're not reaching their potential.
Yes, don't we all?
Yes. And so they're already putting so much pressure on themselves because they know that they're not studying and they're not excelling. And we do this with our health. Like I think the people that work the hardest at the health are the people that are struggling with it.
Absolutely.
And we don't stop and think about that. We actually come in with judgment and opinions and suggestions like, oh, if you kind of cut calories and go for a walk, you might lose some weight. Oh, thanks, Einstein. Like I didn't think about that.
That's right. Yeah.
And so when somebody pushes you, even with the best of intentions, what happens is it creates more pressure. And so you didn't actually create motivation. You created resistance.
Resentment and resistance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And you also created distance in your relationship. And so if you really want people in your life to excel.
Because now they'll just try to hide it from you or not be truthful with you or not be forthcoming.
Yes. You have to say, let them. Because what it does is it creates for the first time space for the person to feel accepted instead of judged. It creates space for them to really learn from life. And it creates space with your support for somebody to tap into their own God-given potential to change. And what I've also realized is that every time I have stepped in and tried to pressure one of my kids to study harder or do this or do the other thing, you know what I'm actually doing? I'm actually saying to them, I don't think you're capable of this without me. When you step in and try to do it for somebody else,
yes,
and you don't just let somebody face the natural consequences of their decisions. When you keep rescuing somebody or making excuses for them, what you're saying is, I don't believe you're actually capable of doing this on your own. I don't believe that you're capable or strong enough to rising to this.
I love this because this is a big lesson for people with adult children who they are still supporting financially. You say when you enable others with money, your words and your actions, you don't foster independence at all.
No.
I mean, I had to learn this the hard way because you think by giving people money, and I can tell you for sure, it does the exact opposite.
Yes.
It does the exact opposite.
It does the exact opposite. And look, it is a good thing to worry about people.
Yes.
It's a great thing to see the potential in somebody. It is an act of love to want somebody to be healthy and vibrant and thriving. That's not the issue. The issue and the problems that I have created for 54 years of my life, Oprah, is that I was going about it the wrong way.
Yeah. You were going about it the wrong way because what, you just didn't know, or you didn't know?
I didn't have the let them theory.
Yeah.
I had no idea how human beings worked. See, you have to push yourself in order to make change happen. But if you push other people, you actually stop it from happening.